You've probably heard that your attention span is now shorter than a goldfish. 8 seconds, apparently. Shorter than a creature that forgets it's in a bowl. Here's the thing. That statistic is completely made up. There's no study, no published research. It doesn't exist. But millions of people now walk around believing their brain is fundamentally broken. And believing that might be the actual problem. Because here's what's really happening. Your attention isn't shrinking. It's being pulled in 1,000 different directions by an environment designed to fracture it. Your brain hasn't changed. Your surroundings have. Most people think attention is something you either have or you don't, like height, like your eye color. But actually, attention works more like a muscle. It gets stronger with the right training and weaker when you don't use it properly. The question isn't whether your attention is broken, it's whether you've been training it to focus or training it to switch. Your brain has 2 different systems for managing attention. The first one amplifies what matters. The second one suppresses what doesn't. Think of it like a mixing board in a recording studio. Your brain doesn't delete distractions. It turns their volume down while turning your focus up. But here's what changes everything. That filtering process takes energy, real, measurable energy. And when you're constantly switching between tasks, emails, notifications, videos, you're forcing your brain to readjust that mixing board over and over and over again. Each time you switch, it's not just the 10 seconds you spent checking your phone, it's the 15 to 23 minutes it takes your brain to fully refocus afterwards. That's not a guess. That's what the research consistently shows. So when you check your phone 6 times in an hour, you're not losing a minute. You're losing most of your productive capacity. Now, pay attention to this part. There's something called attention residue. When you switch from task A to task B, parts of your brain are still working on task A. Cognitive resources linger. It's not that you're distracted, it's that your brain is literally still processing the thing you just left. This is why multitasking feels productive, but actually destroys your output. You're not doing 2 things at once. You're doing 2 things badly while paying the switching cost between them. And this is where it gets interesting. Your brain also runs a cost-benefit analysis for every task. It asks, is this worth the effort? That calculation depends heavily on dopamine, not the motivational fuel most people think it is. Dopamine actually determines whether something feels worth doing. When dopamine is low, hard tasks feel harder. When it's misallocated to constant small hits, scrolling, notifications, quick wins, the bigger, more valuable tasks feel like climbing a mountain. You know that feeling when you sit down to do deep work and your brain immediately wants to do anything else? Open a tab, check a message, rearrange your desk? That's not laziness. That's your brain telling you the effort doesn't match the perceived reward. Real focus isn't about fighting your brain. It's about working with how it actually operates. Here's what most people miss. Attention has a natural rhythm. Research shows that young adults maintain peak attention for around 76 seconds during demanding tasks. That's the baseline, not the ceiling, the starting point. But that number isn't fixed. It's trainable. The same way lifting weights increases muscle capacity, practicing sustained focus literally rewires your brain. The neural networks responsible for filtering and sustaining attention get stronger. Without understanding this, you'll keep thinking you're just bad at focusing. But you're not. You've spent years in an environment that trained your brain to switch, not sustain. Stay with me on this. There's a study from 2018 that found something fascinating. People consistently choose urgent tasks over important ones, even when the important tasks offer significantly more value. It's called the mere urgency effect. Your brain is wired to prioritize what feels urgent. The email, the notification, the thing that just popped up. It doesn't matter if it's less valuable than what you are actually doing. Urgency triggers a response that importance doesn't. This is why your to-do list never shrinks. You're not lazy. You're fighting a built-in cognitive bias. But there's something deeper going on. Your environment isn't neutral, it's actively competing for your attention. Every object in your peripheral vision, every tab open on your screen, every notification waiting to buzz. Think of your attention like a spotlight. The more things in the room, the harder it is to keep that spotlight steady. Your brain has to continuously suppress each distraction, and that takes energy. It's not dramatic, it's just constant low-level drain. This is why willpower-based focus is exhausting. You're not just concentrating on the task, you're also fighting everything around you. It's like trying to have a conversation at a concert, possible but draining. Here's why this matters. When people try to fix their attention, they usually focus on discipline, trying harder, forcing themselves to concentrate, but they ignore the environment, and the environment almost always wins. I used to think this worked too, just eliminate distractions and power through. But total elimination often backfires. Complete silence, zero stimulation, your brain actually needs some level of engagement to stay alert.
The goal isn't a sensory deprivation chamber. It's a space designed to make focus the path of least resistance. Now, here's the shift that changes everything. You don't need to fix your attention span. You need to reallocate it. Your brain hasn't lost the ability to focus. It's just been trained to allocate attention to things that don't matter. Every time you check your phone mid-task, you're reinforcing the neural pathway that says switching is normal. Every time you let notifications interrupt you, you're teaching your brain that other things are more important than what you chose to do. Your attention goes where you've trained it to go, and right now you've trained it to fracture. But that also means you can retrain it. Not with willpower, with structure. Here's what actually works. Start by tracking where your attention naturally peaks and dips. For 1 week, check in every hour and rate your focus from 1 to 10. Notice when you're sharpest. Notice what kills your focus. You're not trying to fix anything yet. You're just gathering data. Most people skip this step. They try to force themselves into someone else's productivity system without understanding their own patterns. But your brain has a rhythm. Work with it. Once you know your baseline, pick your best focus window. Maybe it's 90 minutes in the morning. Maybe it's 40 minutes after lunch. It doesn't matter. Find your natural capacity and protect it. During that window, eliminate task switching completely. One task, no email, no messages, no tabs. Not because you're disciplined, because you've designed your environment to make switching harder than staying. Put your phone in another room, not face down on the desk, another room. Close every tab except what you need. If you're writing, one document. If you're coding, one file. If you're reading, one article. This isn't about willpower. It's about removing the need for willpower. Here's the part most people never realize. Your workspace trains your brain through association. If you always work in the same spot, your brain starts preparing to focus as soon as you sit down. If you do everything in one place, work, Netflix, scrolling, eating, your brain never knows what mode to enter. Dedicate one space to deep work. Nothing else happens there. No phone, no food, no entertainment. Just focus. Your brain will learn. And when you're done, fully done, move. Different room, different activity. Your attention needs restoration, and restoration requires both changing what you do and where you do it. This is why taking a break at your desk doesn't work. Your brain is still in the same context, same visual cues, same environmental triggers. Real restoration means distance. A 10-minute walk without headphones, eating lunch without a screen, sitting with coffee and doing absolutely nothing. These aren't luxuries, they're maintenance. Research shows that a 40 to 50-minute walk in nature improves attention and memory by roughly 20%. Not because nature is magical, because it gives your brain a break from active filtering. No decisions, no stimulation management, just passive engagement. But here's what's critical. You need to stop layering dopamine sources. If you're drinking an energy drink while listening to music while scrolling during a break, you're not restoring anything. You're overstimulating. Your brain needs undirected attention, time where nothing is demanding focus, where you're not consuming, producing, or optimizing, just existing. Without this, your attention capacity shrinks daily. With it, you'll notice compound effects within 2 to 4 weeks. One more thing. Sleep isn't optional. It directly impacts your dopamine availability the next day. When you're sleep deprived, every task feels harder because your brain's cost-benefit calculator is broken. You're not weaker, you're working with depleted resources. Morning sunlight also matters. It regulates your circadian rhythm, which affects both attention and sleep quality. 10 minutes outside in the first hour you're awake. No sunglasses, just light. These things sound small. They compound. So here's what this all comes down to. Your attention isn't broken. The myth that convinced you it was, that's the actual distraction. You're not fighting a losing battle against a shrinking capacity. You're fighting an environment that's been designed to fracture your focus. And you've been doing it with strategies that ignore how your brain actually works. The real issue isn't the goldfish comparison. It's that you believed it. Pick one thing from this and try it today. Not tomorrow, today. Track your focus for 1 week. Move your phone out of reach during deep work. Take one break without a screen. Start small. Your brain adapts to what you practice. Right now, you've been practicing distraction. If this shifted how you see attention, share it with someone who thinks their focus is permanently broken. They're probably wrong too. Subscribe if you want more of this. No myths, no hype, just what actually works when you understand how your brain operates. This is the Better Version Project. See you in the next video.